Welcome to frigid Millersville, Pennsylvania for the NCAA 2019 Division II Field Hockey Championship game as the top-seeded Westchester Rams at 19-1 on the season. They take on the champions of the NE10, the 3-seeded Saint Anselm Hawks. Good afternoon and welcome to our coverage on NCAA.com. I'm Ralph Bednarczyk, joined by Millersville assistant coach and former Maryland All-American Allie Campbell. The two teams have been introduced. Frigid temperatures, Allie. Temperatures in the low 30s as this one about to get going. A fascinating matchup between two contrasting styles as we introduce the players. Saint Anselm be the road team for the matchup as we look at their lineup with a junior goalie from Reading, Massachusetts, Julia Hand, the junior that made 3 saves in the semifinal victory on Friday night in overtime against East Stroudsburg. Lord, the NE10 tournament most outstanding player. Drakely, a fifth-year senior. Decker and DeSimone. Bartle, Nee, and Clifford in the midfield. And then the forward line, particularly outstanding. Lemelin and Friend, likely All-Americans with a sophomore Lacasse. For the Rams of Westchester, it is just a freshman in goal, but the PSAC Rookie of the Year, Claire Nielsen, has started now all 20 games. She's only had to make 31 saves in the year, including one on Friday in the shutout over Kutztown. Corver, McNamara, Schuin All-American, and Velez, Ingalls, Kelly, Venter, and Spavlik in the 3-4-3. And the forward line headlined by 2 Schuin All-Americans, Thompson, who could be the Player of the Year, and Kat Roccaroni, and then the German-born Sophie Rupert. Allie, Saint Anselm has only yielded 4 goals this year, number 1 in the country. Westchester, the number 1 offense this year. They have not been shut out. They have scored 90, and they're also 3rd in the country in scoring. 2 terrific ends of the spectrum that will battle it out today.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how both teams attack it and defend it. You know, with a powerhouse attacking team like Westchester, how they're going to be able to keep their composure like they did just on Friday night, but then how are they going to be able to attack and get in behind that team and test Claire?
The two teams had yesterday off. Westchester outshot Kutztown on Friday afternoon 12-2, picking up a 2-0 shutout win, both goals in the first half. Saint Anselm had to go into double overtime and win on a penalty stroke from Emily Bevins, who came off the bench ice cold and delivered the most historic shot in Saint Anselm history. They got past perennial power East Stroudsburg, the 2 seed. We had light snowfall this morning here in Pennsylvania, but a great job done by the Millersville athletic teams, including your women's lacrosse program, Allie, and yourself, to shovel off this field. It looks great. How about the impact maybe the wet surface still may have?
Yeah, it's going to make it faster, and then definitely the colder temperatures also going to allow the ball to move quicker and keep the ball maybe a little less bouncy on the turf. So I think both teams with high ball speed are going to really enjoy getting that ball and zipping it up the field today.
Saint Anselm, the champions for the first time with the Northeast 10 Conference, now looking for the title. Westchester seeking the program's 7th championship in field hockey, including 3rd at the Division II level. They won in 2011 and in 12. They lost last year in the semifinals, while the Hawks in their first final. Saint Anselm, as an athletic department, has never won a national championship. 2 springs ago, their softball team had an opportunity, and we're underway with the Hawks in the white on white, purple on purple for the Rams of Westchester. And we'd like to welcome those watching up in Manchester, New Hampshire at the newly dedicated Malucci Theater in anticipation of a potential first title for the Hawks. Left to right, Saint Anselm. And they'll restart things with Kendall Clifford. Swung back to Velez. 2 Westchester Rams, by the way, Allie, went with the Iron Woman look. Sydney Ostrowski off the bench, she will play. And then lone starter, Velez, no undershirts. And for St. Anselm, we were not surprised that Kaylee Lord, senior from Keene, New Hampshire, in these frigid temperatures in the mid-30s, still went with no undershirt as the only Hawk to do that throughout pregame warm-ups, as here comes Katie Thompson.
Well, I think St. A's, this is like summer still for them. They probably experience a lot worse than this, so I think that they're just fine with this temperature right now and this weather. I think Westchester's also used to it, but it's also, you know, you're moving around sometimes you're a player that doesn't come off the field as much, so you're constantly moving and sweating. So, I mean, as a player, I never wore any undergarment, but, you know, it's personal preference, and it's what makes you most comfortable to be able to compete.
We just saw Emma Velez of Coatesville, Pennsylvania. And she will be running a lot, being the right back for Westchester. And Velez in particular could be a real factor today in penalty corners. May have the best hands out of anybody on the field today. A one-time transfer from Delaware. Velez hits back in. Stop before it enters the circle. Caitlin Kelly from the outside of the circle with a deep hit. Sticked away by Hand, however, it came outside the circle anyway. And a restart. Julia Hand, 3 saves. She had to work hard, including a great save against East Stroudsburg's Maddie Klein to keep that game scoreless and make the heroics of Emily Bevins possible in the second overtime.
Yeah, she was tested on Friday, but she clearly showed why she was the NE10 goalkeeper of the year. And I think that today she's going to have a couple tough looks as well, but she does her job and she does it really well. So we'll just see how things play out.
Mark Corver will stop things. Julia Hand has started all but one game this season, 3-year starter for Saint Anselm. And also has led Saint Anselm to a championship already, winning the NE10, making 3 saves against Southern New Hampshire. Thompson, as she lugs it forward. Ingalls on the follow-up. Hits into the circle. And that is stopped.
Yeah, really well done. Really well done by St. A's, stepping up into that intercept line and just making the good hard trap on a quick ball coming in. Really well done, and really well done to get it up the field again on attack. Really taking it to him so far.
And that was Mary Nee that made the play, who has also gone Iron Woman. She had the undershirt on, but has taken that off to go along with Lord and also Anna Drakely. So St. Anselm especially, I think they've loosened up, as Lord will restart. What a match she had on Friday with several super defensive tackles and also creating transition, as we'll get a restart for the Hawks.
Yeah, they definitely look to Lord to transition and get the ball up the field. She's a really big impact player on that left side. And normally you want your better players on the left side as well, because the right side's your strong side. So she really holds the position and does her job really well.
Ball was played through Emma Bartle before it's lifted ahead via an aerial pass. Anna DeSimone. And DeSimone will try to push it forward, and Rupert will knock it down. DeSimone need to send in on Corver. And good pressure there to break up the pass. Michelle Lemelin on St. Anselm. The Hawks to possess. Knee.
And Westchester's doing a really good job of small unit play. They're playing the ball into the pockets and playing it back out, making the St. A's defenders move. But St. A's are really guarding their area well. They're playing really good, strong, and smart individual defense. So this is a game of chess almost. So we'll just have to see how they can keep picking apart and moving pieces around to get success on the transition to attack.
A restart for Dara Spavlik. Now it'll be Velez to deal it back to the All-American from Australia in Katie McNamara. As Westchester connects the dots on passes, Kelly sends a ball outside here for the senior Katie Thompson, leading scorer for Westchester on the season. A returning first-team All-American with 21 goals, and she is dispossessed briefly, and the Rams will get some more support. Thompson, especially the other things that she did, impressed me on Friday against Kutztown with her relentless nature in the defensive press, as Corver will lift it in.
Sure, and sometimes, the best defense is you just have to cause a foul and stop the play and slow them down. And on Friday and so far today, St. A's does a really good job of stepping outside the circle and not hesitating, and they stop the play when it's needed. And that, if they continually are able to do that, it's going to continually frustrate Westchester, and it's a smart tactic so far.
And on the subject of Katie Thompson and Kat Roncaroni, Roncaroni has 19 goals, 5th in the country at the start of the weekend. Thompson with 21, 2nd in the NCAA. And talking to St. Anselm coach Carolyn King-Robitaille in her 8th season, this year's NE10 Coach of the Year, last year National Coach of the Year, and the theory or the idea behind containing those two, and the Hawks will have a similar game plan to what they did over the time of Casey Smith, who just graduated from Stonehill, was 3-time NE10 Player of the Year, a dominant figure in that conference. So they will especially pay some great attention to those two, but it's different compared to 2 players versus stopping 1. So they'll be very aware of 7 and 34. Restart for Kaylee Lord. Neither team with much of possession in the circle yet. And a chance to get in there as Knee went for the follow-up ball and swept away. Velez. And finally up the line it comes for Roncaroni, a transfer from American University, where she has shined in her first and only season at the Division II level. Roncaroni again to advance on the restart. Chased by Lord, and Lord picks up the foul. And the quick transition for Westchester. Ingalls did not get all of it. Drakely, and looked to clear that out. Anna Drakely, a remarkable story, playing in the final game of her career, a fifth-year senior that has returned from 2 torn ACLs, 1 in each knee, 9 months apart. And Drakely is playing with yet another knee injury that will have to be looked at. She missed about 3 weeks before returning on Friday. Last had played November 5th prior to Friday. Ball inside the circle. A shot was blocked. And a follow-up. There's Kelly trying to send it further. And here comes the first penalty corner of the Division II National Championship game as Westchester creates the pressure.
Really good feisty play there by Caitlin Kelly. She just stays on the ball, stays calm and focused, really trying to just push that into the defender's foot. The defenders do well to stay in the play, but a little bit too much strength on Caitlin Kelly's part, and we've got our first corner. We'll see what they've drawn up.
Katie Thompson will be the inserter. Kat Roncaroni, the likely striker, scored on a corner yesterday, end of the first quarter. This ball drifts away from Velez, who will normally be the quarterback, out to McNamara, and the shot could not be finished. McNamara looks for the follow-up, reverse sticks it towards goal in front of hand, and it'll be a second corner for the Rams.
And they do well to make something out of that. I mean, there was a mistrap there by Emma Velez, but she's got quick hands, so she was able to run it down. They try to just play it on to Katie McNamara for maybe looking like a drag flick on goal, but on the surface it's a little tough to do, but she makes do and wins herself another penalty corner.
Katie Thompson again. Roncaroni, who can shoot from the outside. She does! And Westchester with an early goal against Saint Anselm in the national final. Roncaroni's rocket with some traffic in front.
And that's just a really textbook corner. Ball out to the straight shot. Mark Horver gets in there, and does she get a touch? She does. Mark Horver just touches that ball right in there into the pocket of that back corner, and we've got a 1-0 game. Textbook play by Westchester. Let's see how Saint Anselm makes their next moves here in these next following minutes.
So Roncaroni on the assist, Corver on the deflection. Mark Horver had the second goal on Friday on a similar play. That's her 8th of the season, a junior outside back from the Netherlands. Roncaroni will get the assist with all the attention that she warrants for her shooting. Corver, who has her family here from the Netherlands watching her this weekend. And she, like Katie McNamara, are going to be two of the rare Westchester players for Amy Cohen that will be 4-year starters every game of their careers. And they're still just juniors. Thompson, and a nice ball outside, and some width for the Rams.
Really good ball movement there by the Rams. But St. Anselm still in the area to pressure, doing really good keeping that ball out in front.
This is Sophie Rupert, one of 5 internationals, played it into the circle. That was stopped by Lord, and Lord will come up with the clearance. Just the 5th goal allowed this year by St. Anselm. none in the first halves prior to that one for St. A's and Julia Hand. So they find themselves trailing in an unusual situation.
But it's championship day, Ralph. So much more hockey left to play. We'll see how both teams can, if Westchester can continue to keep this momentum, and if St. A's can just step on the pedal a little more and continue their attacking, because it has been to both ends. It hasn't been one way or another, so we'll see how both teams continue.
Velez will chop it forward. Lord to step up. Foul against Saint Anselm. Saint Anselm also giving up their first goal of the postseason, including the NE10 tournament. But Mark Corver gets the goal at 5'9", great reach for an outside back. Amy Cohen, just by chance, happened to see her video through the scouting services that are essentially brokers for international players to college coaches. Both she and Katie McNamara right around the same time. Amy saw those videos, started the process, hoped to get one, instead got both. Here's a reverse stick shot, and that's in! A terrific shot! Thompson, 2-0 Westchester.
A huge goal there by Katie Thompson. Takes it with speed on an angle. Younger players watching. When in doubt, take it on an angle hard and take it with speed. And she does just that, pushes the ball. Even though she's under pressure here, she breaks through, prepares early, and you're always aiming for that far post. And she just swings right through and puts her team up 2-0. But like I said on Friday, Ralph, 2-0 is a dangerous lead because one goal goes in, you're only up by one. So we'll see how St. A's can really attack in these next 2 minutes or so, because that's when Westchester is most vulnerable after scoring.
22nd of the season for senior Katie Thompson. Starred at Warren Hills High School in New Jersey, western part of the state. And St. Anselm giving up 2 goals in a quarter. Don't even have to look at the stats to figure out that hasn't happened this year. And they're going to come up with a penalty corner, their first of the afternoon, with 3:02 left, opening quarter. And all of these critical now for the Hawks. Nee will usually be the striker. Lemelin will be the inserter under most circumstances, and also be on the post to the right of Claire Nielsen for tap-ins. And here it's going to be junior Hannah Potter that came on, and she plays starters minutes, the first forward off the bench for Carolyn King-Robitaille. And Potter did not get all of it. And then the foul by St. Anselm. Maybe Potter rushed it a little bit once she heard the whistle, but a missed opportunity.
Yeah, and sometimes that happens. Just a missed insert, you know. Usually you're able to grab that ball and throw it outside the circle, because on attack penalty corners, the ball does have to come outside the circle first before you are allowed to score. But that one just fell a little short there for St. A's.
St. Anselm, offensively this year, they have scored 67 goals. Not Westchester numbers. Nobody has anything close to Westchester numbers, but still a respectable figure. As St. Anselm will be able to get out wide.
And this is where they're really dangerous with their speed on the forward line. Seeing how she was able to carry that ball with vision and speed, if they can continually do that and get in behind the Westchester defenders, they're going to have success.
And that defense all year by St. Anselm, their strength, as Carolyn King-Robitaille described, starts with that forward unit. Hannah Friend, Carly Lacasse, Michelle Amelin. Ball played into the circle. Corver looking to dig it out. It hits the foot of a Westchester player, and St. Anselm will come up with their second penalty corner.
And we're right in the middle of that 2-minute time period after a goal is scored, and you can see St. A's has really turned it on. They're riding this momentum right now, and I'm sure they're going to see that they're able to cash this one in here just before the quarter ends.
Potter will have another opportunity for a cleaner insert. Katie Thompson is also the defensive flyer for the Rams. Potter will go to the outside. Sarah Bagley moved along, lured, then try to bring it back across the goal mouth, looking for the far post, and did not have anybody in that area.
Yeah, she just overcorrected there, lifted her shoulder up a little too early, and her hip opened, so that's why she hit it a little too far outside. But she'll learn from that. Next one, she'll make the correction and get it more on goal.
Roncaroni sent ahead. Sarah Bagley, sophomore from North Andover, Massachusetts, and looked to lift it into some space for Potter, and that is out of her reach. Velez to restart. We're inside the final minute of this opening quarter. New timing system this year in NCAA field hockey across all three divisions. Quarter system, 4 15-minute quarters instead of the 2 35-minute halves. But the difference is also the clock stops on any penalty corner versus being continuously running. So any team trailing does have an opportunity to put together late goals and multiple penalty corners rather than stalling situations. So that could help the cause of the Hawks today. Roncaroni, Rupert. And Rupert able to run past Grace Decker and can continue the run.
Really good tackling back there by St. A's, and well done to keep possession there late in the first quarter.
2 clinical goals by Westchester. Corver and Thompson have tallied, and the Rams with the lead at the end of 1 quarter of play. You're watching the 2019 NCAA Division II Field Hockey Championship on NCAA.com. Goals by Mar Corver and Katie Thompson have given Westchester a 2-0 lead in the national championship game. The Rams at 19-1 on the season. Saint Anselm, the #1 defense in the country, at 20-2. Ralph Bednarczyk with Millersville assistant coach Allie Campbell. And the Rams with the first possession as Roncaroni pushed it forward. And Roncaroni looked to send it in. Shots were 3-0 Westchester at the end of 1. 2-2 in penalty corners. For the season, the most shots on goal St. Anselm has allowed for the year in an individual game, alley, is 5. Ball was swung in by Kendall Clifford. Roncaroni drives it down. What do you think the message was from St. A's head coach Carolyn King-Robitaille between quarters?
I think she's going to want them to continue to attack like they did in the last 3.5 minutes or so. I think that she's going to want to try to eliminate the amount of attack penalty corners Westchester is able to receive just because they are spot on with those. And I think she's going to want to maybe have a little more combo play, a little more small to big, big to small, so that they continue to keep Westchester guessing rather than getting it and trying to give it big and getting in behind. So we'll see how they're able to execute maybe a few of those ideas throughout this quarter.
Drakely to send it down. McNamara, who's going to range all over the field. Her position is a center back, but that is in name only. And I would imagine, too, for Carolyn King-Robitaille, she addressed her offensive penalty corners. They did not get a good look on either of the two that they had in the opening quarter.
Yeah, they're going to want to make sure they cash in the opportunities they have and when they have them, because they may come few and little or they may come a lot, and whichever way that happens to play out, they want to make sure they're taking full advantage of that, both sides of the ball.
McNamara, aerial pass, dangerous one. Kaylee Lord knocked it down anyway. And Lord steered it ahead, looking for Michelle Lemelin, a senior from Chelsea, Maine. Lemelin, the 5th all-time leading scorer in Saint Anselm's history. Number 1 all-time leading scorer is Hannah Friend, senior center forward, 101 points. Has virtually every program record. A 4-year starter from Oliver Ames High School in northeastern Massachusetts. Friend did have 4 shots, but they came very late. I think all 4 of her shots, 3 on goal, came in the overtimes against East Stroudsburg. And otherwise, St. Anselm, I think, would love to see Friend just be a little bit more involved today. Ball sent across, Roccaroni. Nice ball played by Velez. Ingalls out of her reach. Friend able to check back. And the foul is called against St. Anselm. Velez out wide. Dara Spavlik look to push it forward. Special moment for the sophomore Spavlik. A sophomore from Hockessin, Delaware. She is a 3rd-generation Westchester Ram. Both parents, Westchester alum, and so is her grandmother. Lord hits in. Good read there by Kelly. Kelly able to make the connection. Sent ahead by Riley Bogman. Off the Westchester bench, Katie Thompson makes the turn, and then Thompson is tripped up just as she was about to get herself into the circle.
Yeah, and St. A's has to be careful here. They're going to have to tread lightly.
And that'll be the 3rd corner as that centering opportunity came off of feet, but what a play there by number 8 in purple by Caitlin Kelly, a senior from Coatesville, PA, 1st team All-PSAC this year. And their 3rd leading scorer with 16 goals to start transition.
Yeah, and I think here St. A's just has to take a deep breath, do their job, get the ball out of the circle here, and then keep their composure on the ball, making sure they're valuing possession.
Thompson to insert. Roccaroni. And this shot is off target. Lemelin, who's the defensive flyer, I think without a doubt went right at Roccaroni, even if the ball was going to go elsewhere.
Yeah, and a flying position on defensive penalty corner is the bravest position, I think, besides post. You're really putting your body in the line of the ball, and unfortunately, if the ball hits you, that means you're in the right spot, and you're allowing for the other team to have to reset and figure out another way to get the ball on target, and she does a really good job there running the line, and that time clearing it, not always getting hit.
Roccaroni, after the play was broken up by Ingalls. Roccaroni will continue with Decker chasing. Reverse sticks it into the circle. Drakely is by herself. A good switch out to Corver. And to check it through, as down the middle, McNamara.
Good and smart here by Westchester, recognizing they may not have a ton of space up the field. They go back and around to stretch the press of St. A's, and here they are on attack again, finding the gaps.
Good ball laid in by Ingles. Next ball by Thompson, did not have a runner. McNamara on the follow-up. And able to locate a teammate outside her right mid. Into the circle. This is a shot deflected. Bogman is looking to recenter. She's in the circle. The foul against St. A's. What an initial switch earlier to make this happen. Fourth penalty corner for Westchester.
Yeah, and Westchester is really driving right now, and they're doing really good things on attack to get the ball up the field. They're changing the different level of the lines of their positioning. They're dribbling when they need to dribble. They're passing when they need to pass, and they're executing things really well to reward themselves with these opportunities. So we'll see what they have here for this fourth one.
Thompson goes to Velez. She's able to shovel it to the outside. A big hit wide of hand. Good look from Katie McNamara. McNamara, returning second-team All-American, first-team All-Conference, 9 goals and 13 assists, which is third in the country. And McNamara ranges all over the field. And they use her in so many diverse spots, the way Amy Cohen described her. Feeling that she's probably the most well-rounded Division II athlete there is. And her backhand is probably better than anybody else's.
Yeah, and she's super fit as well, so she's able to be an integral part of their attack and their defense. Even though she's listed as a center back, she really has the, I guess, freedom is the word, to really push through and join the attack. And you'll see her starting at the center back of their defensive circle, and then all of a sudden you'll see her at the top of the circle of their attack circle. So I just said circle a lot, but you get the point. She's all over the field, and whether it's under the ball or attacking with the ball, that's where she is.
Katie, a junior from Australia. Mom has been in the U.S. here in Pennsylvania since early October with an Airbnb. And now Dad has joined her here for this championship run. A lot of good Airbnbs in Pennsylvania, so there's a wealth of choices there.
Yeah, and Lancaster's a fun place to be, too.
Is that right?
Yeah, if you want to be in the city, you got a city. If you want to be out in the farms, you got farms. You've got everything in between.
2-0 Westchester Rams. Both goals coming in the opening quarter. And then Decker, just with Thompson waiting there to apply pressure, turns it over. Thompson was hoping for a touch, and it'll be a defensive restart. Or check that, it's going to go back to Westchester. Ostrowski, and out of the range of her teammate on the far sideline. Kelly. Nice knockdown by Thompson. Ball through for Katie Kelly. And then Kelly has the play shut down. Excellent defending there by Saint Anselm. That was Kendall Clifford that prevented the transition. Clifford from Southeastern Mass, a 2-year starter. Restart for Westchester, pressing for a third. That could be devastating to Saint Anselm. Kelly, another breakup. As Caitlin Kelly trying to go back to Sydney Ostrowski, and Westchester with a rare turnover.
Yeah, and here I'd like to see St. A's be a little more urgent, getting on the ball quickly before Westchester's able to set up, just because that's when you're able to break a press best.
As they tried to play the ball ahead, but could not string together passes. Saint Anselm has been held to 2 penalty corners, both in the opening quarter. Ball carried through to Ingles. Both teams having yesterday off, putting together walkthroughs, watching video, and then went about town, I think in Lancaster, to check out the shopping. And otherwise a relaxing day. Nothing out of the ordinary, especially what Westchester coach Amy Cohen stressed.
Yeah, you don't want to make too many changes. You want to keep everything feeling as normal as possible, because championship weekend, it's a great fun weekend, and there's lots of emotions and nerves, and you want to keep everything just like it normally is so that there's routine to everything and the players don't feel like anything's heightened or anything's suppressed. So I'm sure everything was just played just as normally. Some recovery, lots of hydration, sleep, maybe a little homework.
I hope. Bogman had the knockdown, and of course friends and family all making the trip for so many players, so you have that as well as something new on the plates of the players. I noticed the McNeils, the well-known McNeils, the first field hockey family of New England. Andrea McNeil, backup left midfielder, who will play some for Saint Anselm. She's the youngest of 11 siblings. All 5 of her sisters play or played college field hockey. There's a good chunk of them here. I don't think all of them would be here, because then that would be an entire section. But I'm sure the rest are watching somewhere. Drakely turns it over. Westchester looked for the quick counter. And now some room for Mary Nee. And a ball ahead. Erika Meisner was trying to collect it into the circle. Goes St. Anselm. And a ball played through, blocked by Corver, but it will be a foul against Westchester. There's an opportunity there. Freshman Maeve Murphy causing some havoc of Situate, Mass. She's going to be the replacement for Hannah Friend. Great speed, reverse stick skills. Murphy has played a lot this year as the backup center forward.
Yeah, and that's where St. A's thrives. They thrive on the quick breaks because they're so quick on that forward line, and they really had pressure to that ball and stayed in the play and earned themselves a well-earned attack penalty corner. Let's see if they can cash this in right before halftime.
They'll go back to Hannah Potter to insert. Lord, and her swing is blocked. Follow-up sent through. Corver had the initial block. This one came off of the wrong side of the stick of Velez. It'll be a consecutive corner now for St. Anselm late in the opening half.
Another look here. Kaylee Lord gets a good rip off. Good flying there. It's hard to tell if it goes right off the stick or right off the shin. But she stays nice and compact as a flyer, which is what you want to do, take that line. But later on, St. A stayed in the plate and earned themselves another one.
Potter will try the middle. Knee. Shot from the outside, blocked again. Mar Corver, 2 hard-earned blocks. And the ball out to Westchester. Corver this time feeling it. It went above her shin, and especially on a frigid day with temperatures in the mid-30s. And Corver needs an injury stoppage.
And here I think Katie McNamara is asking for a video referral from the 2 umpires. Mara Corver said it hit her in the knee, which it does look like it did. But we'll have to, only time will tell with what the umpires see under the tent over here. So the rules with the video review, they're able to have 1 a game. So you use it till you lose it. If it's inconclusive, you do retain. So we'll see what the 2 umpires can debrief with this play.
And meanwhile, Corver, she's gladly going to take this time to at least keep her knee
She's walking
loose.
it off.
Well, yes. It sounds easy to say, But Corver, along with Thompson, both fly out.
So here's another look.
So we're looking at the height of the shot, but I think you have to take into account, don't you, Allie, take into account, look at how low Corver gets when
Yes.
she blocks the shot.
That is correct, and remember on the first shot, the initial shot of an attack penalty corner has to be 18 inches or below.
Again, they need...
That's close. That's close because she is in good defensive position, but she is very low.
Is it below the black, is the question.
I think it is. Yeah, I think she's too low. So I think the attack penalty corner is going to stand for St. A's.
Great job by our crew. And now our officials will inform the coaches of their decision. Jade Carvalho, Mallory Fedorov, Chrissy Woods, our three officials, doing the honors of this Division II National Championship game.
So they have alerted the coaches that the attack penalty corner will stand. So that means Westchester will lose their video referral for the remaining minutes of this championship match. So I'm guessing what they spoke about. She was not too low, but she was low enough that it was not deemed dangerous, so that's why the attack penalty corner stands.
And this gives the Hawks a third in this sequence. Knee. And Knee with a mishit, and then it's punched out by Thompson. So St. Anselm was able to be more dangerous, but two blocked shots by Mar Corver prevented anything from getting through on Claire Nielsen. Now the Rams with an opportunity to get to the half, up 2-0.
Westchester's doing a really good job of playing into the pockets, exposing those open gaps of space in the St. Anselm press. So I think they're going to want to make sure they're thinking about closing those pockets or getting a little more pressure like they normally do all over the field, just being a little more heightened awareness about that.
Potter, good ball played in goal line extended, and that is touched out, intended for Erika Meisner. Meisner, one of 4 St. Anselm players in their top 17, players in the lineup that have an ice hockey background, in some cases an extensive ice hockey background. Clearing opportunity came off of Corver again, who has just been a magnet for basically physical contact. It's going to be another penalty corner.
Unfortunately, Mara was trying to actually sweep it out, and there her teammate got in the way and lifted it right into her foot. She just didn't time her jump well enough, and St. A's are getting the chances here. It's just they're going to need to start cashing them in here. Yeah, no, that's just unfortunate. But it is what it is, and St. A's here has another opportunity to get the scoreboard to 2-1.
Potter with the 5th corner for St. Anselm. Lord for Knee. Knee reverse stick shot. Save is made by Nielsen. Her first save, and it'll be another one for the Hawks.
Well
28
defended,
seconds.
But well attacked as well.
That's the most dangerous threat the Hawks have had. Their first shot on goal. Claire Nielsen making the save.
And here's another look here at it again. Well executed low. Split grip backhand onto goal. But the reason why it probably wasn't a penalty stroke, as the fans maybe have wanted, she did not technically sit on the ball or hide it. It was just caught in her pads, so that's why it's a corner.
Shot from the outside. Thompson got it with her heel with the block shot. That time it wasn't Corver, or at least not directly. 19 seconds left, so this is the benefit of the new timing rules. And St. Anselm will get yet another corner. An important moment. Can the Hawks get closer? They'll try the near right side for the first time. Potter inserts, knee at the top. Lord, back across, a deflection. It's poked through. Another ball sent in, a deflection. Saint Anselm with 7 seconds left in the half. They've made it interesting. It's 2-1 Westchester.
And a really good, gritty goal there by St. A's. A really good ball across, but they just kept playing, and that's the benefit of this team and their hard work. They stay on the ball. They fight till the very end. A good first initial touch. It's played up high. Play on, says the umpire, and they get a final touch and make this game 2-1 right before the half. A huge momentum swing for St. A's going into the halftime break.
It's the freshman Maeve Murphy. Marini will get the assist. Maeve Murphy's 4th goal of the season. That's it for the first half. My, how significant that is. 2-1 Westchester at the half of the Division II Field Hockey National Championship game. We'll be back in 10 minutes to bring you the third quarter on NCAA.com. Westchester here in the Division II Field Hockey National Championship on NCAA.com, leading the Saint Anselm Hawks. Ralph Bednarchik alongside Millersville assistant field hockey coach Allie Campbell, former All-American in Maryland. Third quarter about to begin. This was 2-0 Westchester Golden Rams for quite some time until the final 7 seconds of the opening half. Maeve Murphy eventually able to finish off a 6 penalty corner sequence by the Hawks. Mary Nee got the assist, and the Hawks are right back in the game after first quarter goals came from Mark Corver from Cat Roccaroni on a penalty corner, and then a terrific unassisted goal in the run of play by Katie Thompson. And that's where we stand. Shots are 6-5 St. Anselm over Westchester, 6-2 in that second quarter. Allie, all of that came very late. 2 saves by Westchester goalie Claire Nielsen.
Yeah, and St. A's really poured on the pressure there in the last 3 minutes or so, and Westchester kind of sat back a little bit, which is uncharacteristic for them. So I think at halftime, Amy Cohen's probably telling them, it's all good. Revert back to what we were doing. Small unit play, possession, value our opportunities, and make them count. And I think on the flip side, St. A's is going to want to keep doing what they were doing, especially in those closing 4 minutes. They want to keep attacking. They want to keep getting those opportunities.
There's a save made by hand. First save of her day. Sophie Rupert was the shooter. What a ball sent across by Velez. Julia Hand's first stop. A second-generation field hockey goalie. As mom Lori played field hockey at BU, class of 1992, in that school's Athletics Hall of Fame. She was a 4-year starter there, and Julia's set to be a 4-year starter in this St. Anselm program. As the ball is played across, the Hawks will go the other way, but they'll have to start from the corner with Kaylee Lord. Velez. And it came up off the knee of a St. A's player. Westchester seeking the program's 7th national championship. 3rd at the Division II level. They were a long-time Division I program playing in the Atlantic 10 from 96 through 2010. Moved to D2 and immediately won 2 titles in 2011, 2012. St. Anselm, their first national championship game, and seeking the athletic department's first national championship. A knockdown from Emma Bartle.
And here, proactivity is the name of the game on both sides of the ball, making sure you're setting up early, making sure you're taking restarts quickly, but also anticipating the ball if you're off the ball and providing an opportunity or an option for your teammates. So right now, I think both teams are just staying in the play and doing well with that, but I think that they can execute being proactive a little better so that they can set themselves up for success.
And here's Hannah Friend, and she looks to find Michelle Lemelin. How can Hannah Friend be just a touch more either involved or be in a scoring position in this second half?
I think proactivity. I think, they're just getting off halftime, just trying to work through some things, get their bodies reheated up, and I think she's doing well with tackling back. I think she can maybe post up in front of the defenders a little more to give herself a chance of actually receiving the ball instead of waiting. But I think overall she's doing as much as she can, but she just needs to make sure she's doing things consistently.
Hannah's mom was on the Canadian field hockey national team, now coaches a high school team, the former Linda Strong, and played for the University of Toronto. She started a middle school program in northeastern Massachusetts that feeds into Hannah's high school, Oliver Ames High, as here is Katie Thompson. And Thompson will take it into the circle against Decker, and then Decker able to dispossess her.
Really good patience defense there by Decker. She kept her distance with a speedy Thompson and skilled Thompson, and just gets her stick in her vision and just makes the right timing of a tackle and has St. A's back on the attack.
Grace Decker, a junior from Saco, Maine, earned a chance to start All-State out of Maine, but had to wait for the graduation of Brooke Haskell as Saint Anselm graduated an All-American center back. Ingles into the territory of Rockeroni. The call will go against Westchester.
Now, if the ball's inside the 25 there, Ralph, it does have to go 5 meters before it goes into the circle, and I believe, or someone needs to touch it before it goes into the circle. So I believe that did not happen, so that's why it was coming out.
Rupert. And fanned on reverse stick and almost clubbed the St. Anselm defender. So Rupert commits the foul. St. Anselm with possession, just briefly with Emily Ingles. 5 in purple. And Ingles now spread it out.
Yeah, and you can see St. A's is starting to make an adjustment. Carolyn King probably mentioned this at half. They are starting to play a little more into pockets and playing a little more smaller instead of trying to just bash it up the field. And it's working for them. They just have to stay patient and keep changing that up. Small play to big play to small play, outside to inside, inside to outside.
Good build-up momentarily for the Golden Rams. And now St. Anselm, room for Lord. And she'll bash it forward. Lemelin trying to put it through Velez. This will give the Hawks some numbers forward with Emma Bartle, a senior from Acton, Massachusetts. 4 years of ice hockey in the wintertime. Field hockey in the fall for her. Out of Acton Boxbury Regional. That has sent several players to the St. A's program over the years. Thompson able to tip it in. And room for Amanda DeSimone. Down the middle, there is Friend able to check back for it. And now can she run as she lays a ball out wide.
Really good ball there. That's how you're going to be able to get in and behind and get some opportunities. Going on angles, playing that ball into an open space for somebody to run onto. Really good there by St. A's. But well-executed defense again by the Westchester Rams. And it's just simple. Westchester plays a simple passing game, and that's what they do really well. And they're not afraid to go back to go forwards. And even if you feel like going back may be a detriment, it's not. It's allowing the press to step up and giving space in and behind the press. So that allows for more gaps and more ability to get the ball in and behind and stretching the field rather than keeping everyone condensed. So Westchester does that really well all over the field, as you can see throughout these first 3 quarters.
Decker right back in. It comes out through some defenders and Friend. And Friend picks up the bump from Corver. Hannah Friend didn't even know that she was about to become the program's all-time leading scorer. Says she's just not interested in stats. Didn't even pick up field hockey until the 6th grade when her sister Allie, who was a 7th grader at the time, eventually said, let's try this sport. They did all their personal recruiting with their friends to fill out a roster. In Northeastern Mass, they got a team. Their mom was the one that started the middle school program. And in some ways it ends today, playing the final game of her career. And the question is, how does it end? Westchester on their own end. No penalty corners yet in the third. Velez connecting with Roncaroni.
Nice quick hands there by number 8 on St. A's. She does a really good job of just quickly manipulating the defense and hitting that foot.
Erika Meisner able to work the ball into the circle. And swept out by Westchester's Emma Riley, a freshman from Melbourne, Australia. Friend, and that came off of her stick. Ingalls, as she's tied up by Meisner. Westchester to restart. There were segments where they spread the field beautifully in the second quarter while protecting that 2-goal lead. That's Rupert with no lanes. It's dealt back, and now Velez. And that's a dangerous ball that was elevated off the stick of Emma Bartle. So Saint Anselm's press gets them the ball back.
Yeah, and just to be clear there, you can shoot high into an area if no one's around, or excuse me, you can pass high, but there it was into traffic and it needs to be below the knee, so that's why that was deemed dangerous. In the circle, if there's no one around, you can go any height unless it's an attack penalty corner for a shot.
Second ball played in by Lemelin, and there's the kick out by Nielsen.
Well done by the freshman goalkeeper to step up, a good strong step out and clear. Keeps her team at a 2-1 lead, excuse me.
Nielsen able to come up with 2 saves in the first half. Drakely. Patience from Anna Drakely.
The umpire asking her not to hit the ball after the whistle. You're not allowed to do that. I don't think she meant it though, Ralph.
I don't think so either. McNamara, meanwhile, the first real long aerial pass we've seen. She shows that skill off. And that gets St. A's in their own end. So McNamara, I think, even a little bit more involved today than she was against Kutztown on Friday. Defensive third start for the Golden Rams and Emma Velez. Thompson, long ball that she connects with Rupert. Waits for a runner. Rupert to continue. Diving out his hand. It came off of the foot of a St. Anselm player, but what a ball that was delivered to spring that. However, it's actually going to be off of the foot of the Westchester
player. That's a great
player.
ball in there, but Caitlin Kelly, actually, this is a really smart play. She sees the defenders right there. She doesn't want to take a first-time shot, so she looks for the attack penalty corner, but at the end of the day, Julia Hand makes a really good diving save and knocks her right on the foot, so that's why it was coming out. Really good attack there by Westchester, but also really good defending as well.
And then Velez probed and tried to lay it in to the corner for Roncaroni. Kelly Ingles. Ingles into the circle. Thompson looking for it. Westchester ball outside the circle. Circle entries have been very difficult to come by for either side in the third. McNamara and look to follow up the ball through several players. Sent out by Clifford. Decker to stop it. Nice ball through. And chance for some runners. Maeve Murphy, as she looked to release and send out Erika Meisner. For the first time, Allie, Anna Drakely off the field for Saint Anselm. She's their center back as here comes Thompson. Thompson will leave it back. This shot, that's knocked down by Lord before it got to hand.
Well done. Really good defending there. She makes a decision. She goes with it, traps it, puts it on the foot of the Westchester attacker. Really well done by Kaylee Lord. That's why they look to her to be a leader in that backfield. She makes decisions. She gets people in the right positions. Really well done.
And Kaylee Lord transferred from Sacred Heart after her freshman year, Division I player. Very offensive-minded. Carolyn King Robitaille recruited her very hard out of Keene High School. Participated at a futures site that she runs at St. Anselm's. And ended up bouncing back to the program. And that is the end of the third quarter. A stalemate in the third. Few chances. Each team battling hard for the Division II National Championship. Westchester still holding on to that 2-1 lead. We're back with the fourth quarter on NCAA.com. Number one seeded Westchester is 15 minutes away from another national championship in Division II field hockey. They have the lead over the Saint Anselm Hawks. In that third quarter, Westchester had both shots, neither team with a penalty corner. And the Golden Rams at 19-1. 92 goals scored. Number one in the country, Saint Anselm. 20-2, all 20 wins via a shutout. But they got one late in the first half from Maeve Murphy. And the final 15 minutes set to begin. What a finish this could be. Ball hit through by St. Anselm. I touched on late in the third quarter, Allie, is that Carolyn King Robitaille Appears like she has changed up her formation a bit. Now we see Anna Drakely playing maybe a bit more higher. She had subbed Drakely out for a period late in the third. And now Drakely back in. Saint Anselm normally plays with 4 in the back, and perhaps that may be something she turns to a 3 in the back situation at some point here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, she's probably wanting to push numbers up to get a little more attack-minded so that they can level out the scoreboard. Especially with a player like Anna Drakely, she really probably wants her to get involved more as well because of her ability to distribute the ball as well as her fast hands. So that's probably why she's pushing her up into the midfield so that she's able to be impactful more so up the field because she's been so impactful back behind the ball.
Yeah, she's normally the stopper, and now Drakely kind of playing more of a holding midfielder spot, a defensive midfielder spot up the field, with Grace Decker now as the deepest center back. Velez from McNamara. This one carries all the way through, had to be knocked down and tipped away, otherwise Roccaroni would have had an open opportunity, and that was DeSimone that had the breakup.
Really good ball there by Kaylee Lord, and really good step up by her teammate there to join in the 2v1.
Friend. And Friend is going to get St. Anselm a card picked up, and that sends Mark Corver off for 2 minutes. First card of this national championship game.
And this is going to be critical here for St. A's to take advantage of these next 2 minutes. Being a player up, really pushing numbers ahead of the ball so that they're able to put the Westchester defense under pressure.
However, his knee was knocked down. The ball will go back to the Golden Rams. So Corver anxiously over at the scores table has to wait out 2 minutes.
Yeah, in field hockey, you're not really allowed to use your body excessively to get pressure to the ball or to block the ball from the defender. And Mark Corver there just, I think, asserted herself a little too much and knocked the player off the ball. So that's what caught the eye of the umpire for the green card.
As Riley Bogman carried forward. Hit all the way across the field by Dara Spavlik. Roccaroni with a reverse stick shot, and she almost made that dangerous, putting it towards the vicinity of hand.
Good defending there by St. A's, though, to channel her down towards the baseline. The lower the angle shot, the harder it is to score a goal. So well done by the St. A's defense. But what you'll see from Westchester here, even though they are a player down, they're not going to play like it. They're going to play conservative. They're going to keep possession, but they're going to attack when they have the opportunities, and that's what you're seeing also here.
And they're happy to start here out of the corner with Spavlik. This one deflected high over the head of Friend off of a Westchester stick. Now knee. Bartle. Here comes St. A's. Lemelin. St. A's was hoping to get the penalty corner to try to knock it off of a Westchester body. The green card has expired. Corver is back on the field for Westchester. Roccaroni. She'll make the touch in the circle. Roccaroni. And missed to the short side. could have been patient there. She did have a runner in the middle in Caitlin Kelly.
Yeah, I think she got a little excited there. Decides to keep the ball on her stick. A good decision, but she did have time and she did have space, so a lost opportunity there for Westchester.
Lemelin able to turn. This one blocked by the body of a Westchester player that was down on the ground, Caitlin Kelly. That was selling out hockey style to block a shot. Ice hockey style.
Another look here. And off the ball, she did trip, so she was just laying down recovering from that. It was just weird timing. I don't think any harm there was done.
She blocked the shot outside the circle, thus no penalty corner. Lord plays it back in. Again, it's also deflected outside the circle.
A little bit of confusion here, but St. A's just has to take a breath, execute what they need to execute here in the 25, find themselves a goal-scoring opportunity.
Drakely stays with it, flips it through, now it's in the circle. Corver will punch it out.
Westchester having to be careful here, got to keep their distance, stay steady on defense with St. A's knocking here on the door. They are feisty, but you got to just hold strong and hold your ground when you're going against a feisty attacker.
Drakely, nice ball. Lord trying to play it back in. Westchester clean touch. McNamara forced off of it by Hannah Friend. And as the ball ricocheted around, no illegal touch inside the circle off of Westchester, so the Golden Rams can exhale. A defensive restart as we'll hit 8 minutes remaining. McNamara, not a clean touch. Lemelin. A call, I think, against Friend. And the Golden Rams just need a clearance, and they get one. DeSimone. St. A's doesn't give up on it, and then as they play it through, again, hoping for a touch.
Yeah, and in hockey, you can't turn your back and stop the ball from moving, so that results in an obstruction, and that's the call there that was made. If she kept staying on the move, that would have been okay, but because she stopped her feet and the ball, that disallowed the defender from being able to play the ball, so that's why there was a foul.
Constant pressure from Saint Anselm. But now the takeaway, as Rupert is able to work it to midfield. And Westchester just lays it in deep. A mishit by DeSimone, so a restart again for the Golden Rams. Now they'll spread the field further. Corver. And Corver with a mishit. Ingles, though, recovering for the Golden Rams just to play it out and get some numbers back behind the ball. Westchester led this national championship game 2-0 at the end of one. They were seconds away from a 2-0 halftime lead before Maeve Murphy eventually finished off a 6-penalty corner sequence in the final seconds, 7 seconds remaining in the first half to make it 2-1. Velez, the connection, Bogman. And Riley Bugman, a freshman from Macungie, Pennsylvania. the famed Emmaus High School program. Takeaway by Thompson. Into the circle. Katie Thompson, bothered by Drakely. Shot played across, and she had Roncaroni on the back post. Any tip on Cage, and it's a goal.
Really good advantage there held by the umpire. Just a little too casual there by the defender. Katie Thompson takes it off, puts it into the feet, but has a goal shot opportunity, so that's why the attack penalty corner was not awarded, because she did have a shot on goal.
There have been junctures this season for Westchester protecting one-goal leads that Coach Amy Cohen has put Katie Thompson in a defensive position because of her relentlessness. Of course, she is the defensive flyer, so she's accustomed to it anyway. And perhaps we will see Thompson move down at some point in these final 4 minutes. Ostrowski, that's a knockdown, knee. Ball forward. Ostrowski made the play running into Potter. Next ball played in by Andrea McNeil, and now the ball just outside the circle. Just outside the circle. St. A's fans celebrating for a possible corner. Now the clearance, but it is off of a foot of a Golden Ram player. And here is the chance for St. A's. Is it the last one?
And this is the trickiest time for Westchester. Your upper goal with 3.5 minutes left. National championship possible with a 1-goal lead, but here they've got to keep their composure. They've got to keep doing the simple things well. And right now they're looking a little scattered, so we'll see how St. A's can maybe here level out the scoreboard with an attack penalty corner.
Friend will be at the top. The insert comes to Lord. Lord down low, looking for redirection. A loose ball, and jumping on it is Claire Nielsen. There was a ball played across by the inserter Potter. Potter had an angle perhaps to shoot. She looked to pass, and Nielsen was able to intercept that ball. And now ahead comes Roncaroni. Roncaroni with a reverse stick. That's knocked down, preventing any opportunity on hand. Westchester, though, gets the restart outside the circle. Now Claire Nielsen, she was able to make her presence felt there. She's been well protected all season. But as Amy Cohen said, our one area of improvement is you don't want to rely on winning a national championship, albeit how talented Claire is, but you don't want to win a national title with a freshman goalie. She remembers what it was like her freshman year. And Claire has to be in charge vocally of All-American players in front of her. Thompson. And the call against Westchester. Drakely able to slip it for DeSimone. Corver prevented the pass from getting to the sideline. Ingles. And a card coming out against St. A's. A devastating one as Carly Lacasse is sent off. And now St. A's will need to tie it down a player. If we have a chance, we should show the replay of that last penalty corner, the chance to tie, even if it is next ball out of bounds here. Roncaroni and a reverse stick, that's knocked down. Came after the whistle, so Westchester restarts Saint Anselm hoping for one more opportunity to try to get one of their forwards ahead. Corver has to be kicked out. St. A's to hurry up with 40 seconds. Well, here is that opportunity. Claire Nielsen. As Nielsen was able to come up with the block of a pass coming across her goal mouth.
And here you can see Westchester just keeping possession. They're going to want to get into the corner. This is normally what happens when you're up a goal, not wanting the other team to even get a touch on that ball for a possible opportunity.
A Westchester team that graduated 6 starters and 3 All-Americans, and yet they come back and go the distance. The Golden Rams finish off a remarkable season. They knock off Saint Anselm in the national championship game 2-1. The Golden Rams, national champs for the 3rd time at the Division II level and 7th time overall. Yeah, maybe in like 30 seconds after all of this, after the hugging stuff, we can show that final play, because that was the final scoring chance. Do we have it? Do we have it? Yeah, another 30 seconds. Here was the final penalty corner for Saint Anselm. Potter playing it across, and Nielsen with her left foot kicking it out. '19 ends for the Rams at 20-1. Just a remarkable season. 2nd straight year they were the #1 overall seed. They shattered their goals against record. Just 13 allowed on the year. A program record. 92 goals scored. And for Saint Anselm, they are still looking for that elusive first national title in any sports. Congratulations to the Westchester Golden Rams, your national champions in Division II field hockey. We will keep it here for the national championship presentation. But for our entire crew here, braving through the elements, including our camera crew, I say thank you and great job. For our producer, Matt Mitchell, for my partner, Allie Campbell, it's been a pleasure. I'm Ralph Bednarczyk saying so long and goodbye from Millersville, Pennsylvania. Westchester are your Division II field hockey champs.
Fans, your attention, please. It is our pleasure to begin the awards ceremony for the 2019 NCAA Division II Field Hockey Championships. First, let's congratulate both teams on their outstanding achievements. We'd also like to thank our hosts, Millersville University, for their partnership, commitment, and success in hosting this national championship. Presenting the awards from the NCAA is Mike McFarland. And first, the runner-up team in this year's NCAA Division II Field Hockey Championship, finishing with a record of 20-3, the Saint Anselm Hawks. We will go in numerical order. Will the following individuals please come forward to receive your awards? First, number 00, Molly Dingley. Number 1, Hannah Potter. Number 2, Sarah Bagley. Number 3, Anna Drakely. Number 4, Hannah Friend. Number 5, Mackenzie Robinson. Number 6, Kendall Clifford. Number 7, Erika Meisner. Number 8, Emma Bartle. Number 9, Jackie Dahmer. Number 11, Shelby Dunn. Number 12, Maeve Murphy. Number 14, Kaylee Lord. Number 16, Emily Bevins. Number 17, Carly Lacasse. Number 20, Amanda DeSimone. Number 21, Michelle Lemelin. Number 22, Grace Decker. Number 23, Avery Tucker. Number 24, Madison LeBeau. Number 26, Andrea McNeil. Number 27, Emily Martin. Number 28, Mary Nee. Number 33, Julia Hand. In addition, Emma Isadorchek. Maggie Malloy. Joanna Archambault. And Lauren Moretti. We would also like to recognize the Saint Anselm coaching staff and additional staff, Carolyn King Robitaille, head coach, and assistant coach Alyssa Scott, and Amber LeBlanc. Congratulations to Saint Anselm on a great season. Let's give all these outstanding student athletes, coaches, and staff another round of applause. And now, fans, the 2019 NCAA Division II Field Hockey National Champion, finishing with a record of 20-1, the Westchester Golden Rams. Will the following individuals please come forward to receive your awards? Number 0, Mary Kate London. Number 1, Dara Spavlik. Number 2, Riley Bachman. Number 3, Emma Riley. Number 5, Emily Ingalls. Number 6, Sophie Rupert. Number 7, Katie Thompson. Number 8, Caitlin Kelly. Number 9, Sophia Morrison. Number 10, Mar Korver. Number 11, Devin Godick. Number 12, Danielle Venter. Number 13, Emma Velez. Number 14, Emily Purnell. Number 15, Jacqueline Charbonneau. Number 17, Claudia Jazik. Number 21, Sydney Ostrowski. Number 22, Katie McNamara. Number 23, Dominique Catalano. Number 26, Autumn Gager. Number 30, McKenna Aberley. Number 32, Sydney Corcoran. Number 34, Kat Roncaroni. And number 88, Claire Nielsen. In addition, Rory Strom. Tara Hausker. Emma Smith. And Liza Ernst. And of course, we'd like to honor the coaches and staff for Westchester. Head coach Amy Cohen. Assistant coaches Abby Tepper. Gabby Penashevitz, Marissa Lizardo, and additional staff Kelly Millender and Christina Gotthold. And now will head coach Amy Cohen and the team captains please come forward to accept the National Championship Trophy. Congratulations to the Westchester Golden Rams, your 2019 NCAA Division II Field Hockey National Champions. On behalf of the NCAA and our host institution, Millersville University, we thank you for your attendance at the 2019 NCAA Division II Field Hockey Championship. Please remember that Bloomsburg will host the 2020 NCAA Division II Field Hockey Championship. Once again, congratulations to our champions, the Westchester Golden Rams. Have a safe trip home. See you next year in Bloomsburg.